The relationship that you have with yourself is the most important relationship that you will ever have in your entire life. That's why people talk so much about self-love. Some of y'all probably like, I'm tired of hearing about self-love, okay? I just want to get laid, okay? I feel you, but I'm telling you, the self is the most important relationship you have. When that relationship is tight, when that relationship is strong, all the other ones seem to go easier or better or fall into place, or it's easier to draw people to you that you want in your life versus people that you don't want in your life. It's the relationship with yourself. So let me do the introduction, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this self concept today. I am QueenAusetHeru. And thank you for joining me for the wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to anybody and everybody that might like it too. Please leave us a positive comment in the comment section and stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to read 2 positive comments from previous videos, and one of them might be yours. If you would like to send me a gift like this beautiful crown that somebody anonymously sent me, my Amazon wish list is underneath this video. My Patreon is underneath this video. My social media is underneath this video. My email address is underneath this video. So if you want to give a donation to the channel, if you would like to get a reading done, any of the above, all that information is underneath this video. Okay? All right, so let's talk about the self. So what I'm thinking is not just self-love. Today I want to talk about self-esteem, because a lot of people, the problem goes back to their esteem. So I got some tips. These tips came from @TheLoveTherapist on Instagram. I love the Love Therapist. I get a lot of good stuff, and I thought this was pretty cool. So let's check it out. The first tip for building self-esteem is to be mindful of negative self-talk. Don't talk negatively about yourself, even if you're joking. A lot of people do this regularly. You ever give somebody a compliment like, oh girl, your hair looks awesome, and they're like, yeah, it's okay, but I still need to lose a few pounds. Oh yeah, my hair is all right, but I ain't do my makeup today. Like, as soon as you say something good, they say something bad, immediately about themselves. So it's kind of negating your compliment. So if somebody says, girl, you look nice today, or, oh, okay, dude, I like your boots, just say, thank you. That's it. Don't negate it with negative self-talk. Never talk negatively about yourself. Talk about yourself as if you are the most precious being in your world, because you are. Okay? Don't talk about yourself negatively. Even when you talk about your negative qualities, like for instance, if you're sick, don't say I'm sick. Say I'm healing. Okay? If you're doing something wrong, like for instance, if you're having some problems with communication, don't say I'm a bad communicator. Say I'm learning to communicate. Just those little tweaks in language make a big difference to your psychology. Remember, your brain is always listening to you talk and think. So reinforce it constantly with good stuff. Okay? Number 2, change the story. Practice positive and compassionate self-talk daily. So not only you're not talking negative, now you're flipping the script, talking positively about yourself. Do affirmations in the mirror every morning. I am beautiful. I am intelligent. I am compassionate. Whatever, say these kind of wonderful affirmations in the mirror, so you're not saying negative, but you're constantly saying positive. Practice self-care. Exercise, proper nutrition, and sufficient sleep all positively influence your self-perception. So these are good, because think about it. If you are not practicing self-care, and I know this for a fact, because I practice self-care, but I don't exercise enough, right? So the things you don't do in self-care, you will always beat yourself up about. Every time it's the end of the night and I haven't exercised, I'm like, tag, that knocks on your self-esteem. So try to practice it so you won't feel bad when you don't. You won't be down on yourself when you don't. Practice making and keeping small promises to yourself. So a lot of us will break promises to ourselves if somebody else needs us or somebody else needs something we think is more important. So practice making promises to yourself. No, I can't go on Friday night. I need to practice self-care. I promised myself I would exercise and watch Matlock, for example, No, I can't come babysit your kids because I promised myself this would be my spa day, or whatever the case it is. Make promises to yourself and practice not breaking them. Stand tall and practice good posture. A lot of times people who have low self-esteem, they always slouch down or their head is always down. It's almost in their chest all the time. So if you feel yourself doing that, straighten yourself up, give yourself good posture. And if you see a person doing that, that's a good sign that they may be going through something, that they may be feeling, less than, healthy with their self-esteem. So that might be a good time to come up and say, hey, you look really pretty today. That might be a good time to infuse them with some positive energy when it's outside of yourself. Try something new and acknowledge it's okay to suck or fail. A lot of people will not do things because they might fail or not be good at it. I was talking to my friend about her daughter, and her daughter is an amazing artist, and her daughter will not sell her art because she's afraid nobody will buy it. And I'm like, what? Are you crazy? Of course people are going to buy it. But because she can't get past that fear of failure, it keeps her stuck. So if you try new things and acknowledge that it's okay, you'll get past those other fears. Because you'll be like, you know what? I tried painting and I suck at it, but I love it. Or I tried, making dolls and my doll looked lump-sided, but I had a good time, And then other things in your life, you'll be like, well, you know what? If I could do that and fail at it and it was still okay, I can try this too. Okay, so try new things and know that it's okay not to be great at it. As a matter of fact, if you're trying something new that you've never tried before, chances are really high that you're going to suck. Really high. And that's okay. Let yourself suck. Spend some extra time alone. This is really important, guys. A lot of people spend no time alone, okay? Now, I also think spending too much time alone can be problematic as well. It needs to be a balance. But I know people that are never alone. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how. It would drive me crazy. But I think that it's important to spend at least a little bit of time alone. Some people will sit in their car before they go in the house. I condone that. Some people might stop at the bar and get a drink, or stop at a park and sit and feed the ducks or something. I condone all of that. Spending time alone is really good. You really should spend some time alone. I recommend time alone praying and meditating. That's something you can do for a few minutes a day. The reason why this helps to build self-esteem is because you learn to self-soothe. You learn to enjoy your own company. You see? And these things are really important. And that way you don't feel bad, like times when you can't be around people, you don't feel bad because you know how to soothe yourself or entertain yourself. So time alone is important. Plus time alone, if you're using it right, hopefully you're doing things to improve yourself. Do something nice for someone. Acts of kindness. Acts of kindness are wonderful for your self-esteem because the other person will feel good. And a lot of times you'll feel good that the other person felt good. Even if you don't get any praise or recognition, because that's not what it's about. It's really just about feeling good because you did something that somebody really needed, Practice identifying your wants and needs and expressing them. A person with low self-esteem often is afraid to identify and express these things. Wants and needs, They might feel like nobody's going to care about their wants and needs. So this is a really important one. If you can identify your wants and needs and express them in a healthy manner, that will help you to realize that you do matter. You are important. And the last one says, practice setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. A person with low self-esteem, sometimes people call them doormats. Okay, very negative connotation. But if you think about it, it makes sense because they have no boundaries. So people just walk all over them constantly because they have no boundaries. So work on, in this area, having boundaries will help you have a higher self-esteem. So basically, a boundary is just letting people know what is and is not acceptable. No, it's not acceptable for you to walk in my house and go in my refrigerator. That is my boundary. No, it's not acceptable for you to go in my bedroom without permission. Okay? Not acceptable, you know? No, you cannot touch my person without my permission. No, you cannot come to my home without announcing so first. Okay? These are some of my personal boundaries, you know? But whatever the case is, if you have healthy boundaries, it often does translate to having a healthy self-esteem. Okay? So those are 10 that we got. Now, you tell me in the comments section, do you have any other tips for those of us that want to build self-esteem? Please let us know. And now, I am going to find today's positive comments. I think they're right here. Here they go. The first positive comment came from Dean L. Sid. Hey, how you doing? Excellent video, especially about paying attention to folks we let into our space. Underrated advice. Oftentimes we allow people to contaminate our spaces with their emotional dumping. This is another good place for a boundary, letting people know what is and is not acceptable in your space, whatever that may be, you know. And this and Dean is right. We do let people throw up their emotional stuff on us, but we also have to watch our physical space, who we let into our home, who we let touch us, who we let make love to us, who we let in our bed, you know. All of these areas are really important. Definitely want to pay attention. The Void. Hi, The Void. How are you? The Void said, yes, I want my best self for you. I used to preach this and it was thrown back in my face. Of course, if you want to work together to be our best selves, then that's a different story. Well, The Void, you should work to be your best self by yourself before you get with another person. That's number one. And then if you are with a person, then yeah, you want to continue growing together. But when I talked about being your best self for another person, I was talking about before you meet them. I'm not saying you get with them and then say, oh, I want to be my best self now. That don't work. I recommend becoming that person by yourself. So let's say, for example, I want a beautiful woman to walk into my life and be a wife who's honest. Let's give her some characteristics. Honest, beautiful, brilliant, creative. Okay? So if I want this in my life, then I need to become that. I need to be an honest, creative, beautiful, expressive partner. I need to become that. So somebody like that will be drawn to me. Why would somebody that awesome be drawn to me? So if I want somebody who's awesome, I need to become awesome. That's all I'm saying. So if if you're not currently awesome, because some of us, maybe you are, maybe you came out the womb awesome, you know, but if you're not awesome, or if there are things about you that you would like to tweak in your awesomeness, then I recommend doing that before you get with a person. Because think about it. If you're trying to use the law of attraction, for example, and you're trying to draw the right person to you, You want to become what they would be attracted to. Okay? If I want somebody who is interesting and creative and funny, then I need to be creative, interesting, funny. You know, you want to draw the person to you. What is going to draw them to you versus another person? So when I made that statement, I'm talking about before you meet them. And then after you meet them, it's all about continuing to build together. Okay? So I don't know why somebody threw it back in your face. Maybe they felt like you weren't trying. That's the only time I would throw it back in somebody's face. If somebody told me, I'm trying to be my best self for you, the first thing I would say is no, be your best self for yourself. Number one. And number two, if they weren't really trying, I would be like, bullshit. You're not really trying to be your best self for me or you. So you're just using this as lip service. So in your case, I don't know. Maybe you were trying. Maybe you were trying, giving a Hercules effort, and maybe they didn't recognize that effort. So there's a lot of reasons why somebody would say that. I don't think you should throw things in each other's face, period. That's another thing. When I was talking about how you fight, that's an ugly way to fight, to keep throwing things in each other's faces. And we all do it. So if you cannot do it, that would be the best thing. All right. All right, guys. You come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.